So in today's episode of introducing my pets with more background, I'll be introducing you guys to Aerith today. She's my oldest cat. So this is not in order I got the pets in. This is order of age. Aerith was actually my third pet, I believe. I can't remember if I got her or my rats first, but the rats that I had at this time have already passed because that was years ago, and rats unfortunately only live 2 years. But I think I got her after, so I already had rats and 3 dogs at this point. And so I was at work because I used to work the night shift at a grocery store. I still work at that grocery store, but I work in the mornings now. But at this point, I had worked at the night shift until about 10 o'clock at night. Well, one of those nights, I was getting off of work, and I walked out, and this cat was like rubbing on my legs and following me to my car. So I was like, this is really odd. And so I opened the door and sat down, and I kind of like patted my leg, and she got in the car. So I was like, because this is a big parking lot right by the busiest road we have in town. So I shut the door, I let her get in, and I drove to go tell my husband. And I wasn't sure about this at the time, but I opened the door and she darted out. And this was a couple of buildings down. This was super close to my job because he used to work at a Carl's Jr. or a Hardee's, like a couple of buildings down. He does not work there anymore. Now he works at the grocery store with me. But I went in to visit him, and I was like, yeah, this cat followed me to my car, but it darted out like it knew where it was going, so maybe it lives around here. So I got back in the car, and I went home. But then, like, at the time, my husband didn't drive, so I waited at home a couple hours, and I went back to go pick him up. And he had the cat, because I guess it came back and was hanging around there at Carl's Jr. So he got in with the cat, and I'm like, I guess we got a cat now, but I don't know. So we weren't sure how this would go having 3 dogs. But we got home, and she was pretty chill. She was more afraid of our ceiling fan in our bedroom than anything else. So we waited till the next morning, and we went and got a litter box and some cat food and stuff to just take care of her, and we posted her on our local Lost and Found pet page. And we actually got a response from a lady that said that it used to be her cat, and her cat was named Karma, but we had changed it to Aerith if we kept her. So that's what we had been calling her. But this cat's name was Karma. Wait. I don't know. Actually, I don't know why I said Karma. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember now. I guess it was a different name. I said Karma, but I don't remember if that was her name or not now that I said it a couple times. But anyway, she had a different name. She told us the name. She said that her husband had rehomed the cat to a person 30 minutes away from us, in a town that's 30 minutes away from where she was found, in that she did not know how she ended up there, but we could keep her if we wanted because they were trying to find a different home for her anyways, and so this kind of worked out. And I was like, I appreciated it. I asked her how old she was, and I don't remember how long ago this was exactly anymore, but Aerith is 4 years old right now. She's about to be 5 in the end of the month, so she's about the same age as Apollo. And it turns out she had been raised with 3 dogs and several other cats, so she fit perfectly in here. Didn't take her much to get used to all the dogs since she was already used to being around so many dogs as a baby. And so me and my husband decided to keep her. We got all the supplies already, so we took care of her, and we still love her to this day. I speculate that she tried to rehome another one of her cats to me, asked me if I wanted another one, and at the time I was like, I really should probably not. But she's told me her husband was making her get rid of some of them. So I to this day speculate that her husband probably told her that he rehomed the cat and actually just came and dumped her in a parking lot or something of that such, and she ended up in my parking lot, because we have had pets dumped there before. Like, I know one of my coworkers brought home a kennel full of cats, like kittens, and a mom before. I wasn't there that time. So it's happened before, so that's what I've always just assumed her husband probably dumped her there. So now we have our Aerith. And another reason we speculate this, and it's very unfortunate and very upsetting, but Aerith hates my husband. Like, she won't hiss at him or anything, but if he pets her, she kind of like cringes away like he's gross and like leaves. But she's obsessed with me and will like always picks my lap, always really clingy, rubs on my hands if I'm trying to do something else. And me and her have a really good bond. She'll sleep on my back and stuff if I'm relaxing in bed or something. Me and her are really close, but she's never really cared about my husband. So that's another reason I'm like, she doesn't really like men. So I think that is why. I don't think she ever had a good relationship with the lady's husband. I think that lady's husband dumped her. And it's very unfortunate and very upsetting if that is the case, because no one deserves a significant other that would do something like that to them and lie about it, if that is the case. And no animal deserves to just be dumped somewhere to look after themselves. I don't know how many times people need to hear it, but captive animals cannot survive in the wild. They do not have the ability to survive in the wild. If they're used to being an indoor cat or a dog that's used to being taken care of, it could end badly for them really, really fast. So we kept Aerith. She's a really good cat. I love her to death. She comes when you call her. She loves to have conversations with you. My husband, funnily enough, is the one who named her after, I believe it's a Final Fantasy character from one of his favorite games. I've never played the game, so I don't remember for sure. But I believe that's where her name came from. It's really funny when people ask me her name because nobody ever remembers it. It took me forever to remember it myself. So people really struggle to remember her name, but we love her. It's just unfortunate she's not a huge fan of my husband after he's the one that named her. Aerith, if you can tell from these photos, has gotten kind of chunky living here. She's a big fan of food. She used to like try to steal stuff from your plate and stuff. We got her to stop doing that. And now she's not really a huge human food person or cat anymore. Like, she'd rather just have her cat food, especially wet cat food. But I give them a mix of wet Fancy Feast because that's their favorite. And then I give them some Victor cat food because I figure if it's good for the dogs and they like it, they probably like it too. And they have really done good on it so far. So Aerith was not a huge fan when we introduced another cat into our household at first. She would just smell her and hiss and like run away, like she was terrified of her. But eventually, as the kitten that we rescued started to come out of her room, they ended up becoming really good friends after they got kind of used to each other over time. Now they just run around and play fight with each other all day. I've never heard them have a real fight, no matter how sassy that kitten gets. I've seen her like slap Aerith on the way out of the bathroom and everything. But they adore each other, and it's really sweet to see them interact. And Aerith is really like become more of like playful and more cat-like since we got her a little buddy. So I think that's she really needed that in her life. And it's wonderful to see her like in a good home. We're not afraid of her getting dumped, nothing like that. I got her cat tower. She likes to chill on that with her friend and cuddle with me. I've tried to walk her on a harness, but her and the kitten, they just have no interest of going outside whatsoever. They want to stay inside. And every time I've tried to see if they wanted to walk outside, they're like, no. Another fun thing they like to do is I have a sunroom downstairs. They like to go in there and sunbathe. But they don't have an interest in going outside. They just want to sit on that concrete, that warm concrete, and get the sun. And sometimes, like, grass will get stuck in the door, and Aerith likes to eat the grass. But she doesn't want to go out there. She just wants to sit in that corner and eat the grass. So I don't know, but she enjoys it. She's not I can get her to play with wands, cat wands and stuff a little bit, but she's kind of lazy, so she'll just do it for a few seconds, then she's good. She'd rather just cuddle and watch TV. But she's like one of the sweetest cats I've ever met. It takes a lot to get her to scratch you. She really is a lover, not a fighter. Unlike her sister, who will bite you for no reason. And that's all I really got to say. If you have any questions about Aerith, let me know. She's a really good girl. Thank you. Bye-bye.